what you're getting yourself into, right? Like, you know there's going to be people and bodies and blood. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, please subscribe. So today's video is going to be my pre-med experience video. I decided to do kind of like a Q&A slash a what to expect when you want to be pre-med in college video, because you guys have been requesting it for a very long time and I really want to give you what you want. So this is 12 Days of Brelynn, so let's go ahead and get started.
Day of Christmas, my baby gave to me a crop jacket with dirty denim jeans. On the 5th day of Christmas, my baby gave to me the one that he wrote for me.
Alright, so you guys know when I do my advice videos, I have everything on my iPhone right here. I went ahead and wrote down exactly what I want to say, and I have about 6 tips which are my advice to pre-med students. First off, let me just talk about my experience. So y'all know I go to SPELMAN College. I'm a biology major and I'm on the pre-medicine track. So at my school, you can't major in pre-medicine. Now you can major in health sciences, but when I came in, that wasn't an option. So if you want to be on the pre-medicine track, that means that you can major in whatever major that you want, and then there's a list of requirements that you have to fulfill. The things on the pre-medicine track requirement list are things that you have to have in order to apply to medical school. So at my school, if you are on the pre-medicine track, that means that you want to become a doctor, that you want to go to medical school. So yeah, there is a pre-dental track and there is a pre-pharmacy track, I believe. I'm not sure. I just know that mine is specific to pre-medicine. And yeah, for those of you who don't know, I want to be an obstetrician. That is a doctor who delivers babies. I would also want to be a gynecologist, anything that has to do with women's health. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into my tips. Also, let me put out a disclaimer that I do not feel like I am the perfect pre-medicine student by far. That's why it's taken me so long to film this video. Like, I know y'all want to see it, but I just kind of feel like, who am I to tell people like what to do when I don't feel like I am the best student? I have a lot of learning to do, and I could make a lot of adjustments and improvements, but this is what I do, and I mean, I haven't failed out yet, so if y'all just want to, you know, learn from my mistakes, you can go ahead and do that. And I don't mean this to discourage you, but just because there are a lot of people who are so gung-ho, and the medical field isn't made for everybody. So I say, maybe have a backup plan within the medical field, or maybe something completely different. But this major or this track is very difficult, so it's better to be safe than sorry. So for me, if all else was to fail, I would go into communications. I know, like, I probably won't do that. Like, I would probably be a physician assistant or a nurse before I completely give up medicine, because I really want to help people in that way. But yeah, I have a lot of different like backup plans, because there are a lot of people who I know who was like, well, this doesn't work for me, I'll go into psychology, and they're now psychology majors. So don't think it's not going to happen. Like, if you're a freshman and you're going in, think, okay, yes, I want to be a doctor, but worst case scenario, if this is not going to work for me, if I get in and I get F's in all of my biology classes freshman year, I'll switch it and I'll become a biology teacher, a math major. Like, there's several different things that you can do and still be involved in the field. Or if you're just like, this ain't for me, political science, you know, just keep that in mind. But that goes into my second tip, which is don't give up so easily. I say you may not do as well in your first couple of pre-med courses because it's very intense. It's very intense compared to high school. That just means that you need more preparation outside of class, not necessarily an entire major or career change. So I know that that kind of contradicts itself, but sometimes you not doing well in your classes doesn't mean that you wouldn't do well in the field. It also comes down to like how you were prepared for these pre-medicine courses. So if your high school was not very, you didn't take very intense pre-medicine courses in your high school, such as AP Bio, AP Chem, AP Physics, AP Calc. Those are, I didn't take IB classes, so I don't really know the equivalents, but those courses are directly what you will be doing in your freshman year of college, and then they'll just increase and they'll get better and better and worse and worse. So if you've never taken those courses before, you probably don't know what it's like, and so it could be a complete shock to you and you may not do well. If you did do well in high school and you continue to, and you don't do well in college, that just may mean that, you know, your other factors, you just need to get your feet wet. If you didn't do well in high school and you're not doing well in college, maybe it's not cut out for you, maybe you just need more practice, maybe you need a tutor. If you never did that step before and you're not doing well in college, that may mean that you are good at it, you could be good at it, but you're just a little bit further behind. So it depends on where you came from, so don't give up so easily, but just kind of keep it in mind. Number 3 is that internships and the summer is your best friend. Summer programs are your best friend. Never have an idle summer. So I think this is something that I didn't realize was so serious until I came to Spelman, and I spent my first year just working home from college. But there are so many opportunities out there. They have a lot of summer programs for research and learning out there at like colleges all over the world. They will pay you, they'll fly you out or pay for your train ticket, they'll pay for where you stay, they'll pay for what you eat, and they'll actually pay you for being in the program. You'll get to do research or maybe clinical experience, you'll get to have a mentor, you'll get to be with other students. It's a really, really healthy and fostering. I went to my first summer research experience this past summer, and although I didn't have the best time with the surrounding environment, I really did enjoy what I got out of it, and that was research experience. I also got a research paper. I was able to do research, write a research paper. I was able to learn how to run statistics in a software. I was able to learn how to create a professional PowerPoint and also give a practice and perform a presentation in front of an important group of people, and a lot of other things. You can go ahead and research the benefits of it yourself, which is a side tip within a tip. You know, research is your best friend. Not only like actual medical research, but anything that you want to do. People are not just going to hand it to you, so you have to learn what schools you want to go to, what doctor you want to be, where you should do, what kind of research you should do, where you should do your research at, where you should do your clinical research. Everything is up to you at this point. So if you really want to do it, do your own research. And yeah, but going back to my original tip, summer programs, there are a lot of them out there. So once you're in college, like around this time, if you are a freshman right now and you're a pre-medicine major, or you're on a pre-medicine track, you should be applying for summer programs. So they will be closing between December and some as late as March, but you want to get in early, just like how you're applying for colleges and you want to have an early application. It's the same thing for the summer programs. You just want to have an early application in. You're going to need letters of recommendations from your teachers and probably your transcripts, so you want to make sure that your grades are good, that you're writing good things in your application and your essays, and you'll do perfectly fine. And then you'll be able to have a summer actually doing something, and then by the time you're a senior and it's time for you to apply to medical schools, you can say, well, my first year I went to Harvard, and then my second year I went to Princeton, and my third year I went to Johns Hopkins, and that is why I make a great doctor, because I've had all this great experience. I've written 3 different papers on 3 completely different things that have all, what is that noise? 3 different ideas that are all have to do with what I want to do. And make sure you're not just going to any summer research program, but try and focus everything in on what exactly you want to do. So like I said, I'm going to be an obstetrician / gynecologist, so everything that I do, all the research that I do has to deal with women's health. So for example, I've done research on ovarian cancer cells, and I've also done research on HIV and AIDS. So those are just a little bit of examples of like where you can kind of, you know, narrow down, because research is so big and there's so many things that you can do under it. But yeah, okay, let's move on to my next tip. Tip is to know what kind of doctor that you want to be, because that will kind of help you know what route you want to go on. What route? What do you guys say? Do you guys say route or do you say route? I think I say route. No, I say route. What route you want to go on? Okay, so don't take the typical route, because it may not be the best fit for you. So a lot of people want to be obstetricians, a lot of people want to be pediatricians, some people want to be, I don't know, plastic surgeons or just surgeons in general. But there are a lot of feet doctors, eye doctors, dermatologists, dentists, like pharmacists, like there are so many different kind of doctors out there. So don't just think that, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor, I'm gonna help people, the only way I can help people is if I am sewing them up for surgery or heart surgery or brain surgery. Like there's a lot of different ways you can help people. So think about why you want to help people and who you want to help, and that may try and narrow down exactly what you want to do and why you want to do it, because you're going to need that in all of the applications that you're going to do in the future. My next tip is to take it seriously. Like from the moment that you decide that you want to be a pre-medicine major, you have to think about it. You are going to be a future doctor, so people's lives are going to be in your hands, and you may not take it that serious, but everybody who's trying to get you to be a doctor takes it that serious. From the people in the application boards to your professors, everybody takes it so seriously. So you have to take it seriously. That way you don't think everybody else is crazy. Your grades are important. Everybody always tells me nobody wants a doctor who got C's and D's in college or high school. And it's true. So if you have C's and D's in high school or in college, like, you may want to reconsider it, because it's going to be hard to go to medical school, and it's going to be hard to get hired if you don't have good grades, because nobody wants somebody delivering their baby if you got a D in college. It's just real life. The purpose of all of this is just to say that failing your first year of biology or pre-medicine courses can kind of disqualify you for medical school, because they may put you back in, you have 4 years. And it seems like you can't get everything done in 4 years. I know that my school, we have a template of everything that you have to do each semester. And if you fail one of those courses, it's going to be very hard to get back up without having to do multiple years. It's okay to do 5 years if you need to, but of course, you know, everybody wants to get out in 4. So every year counts. You can't wait until your junior or your senior year to try and do really well in these courses, because these schools are just not going to look at you. It's so hard to get into medical school. I don't want to discourage you, but just, like I said, do your research. Look at the type of GPA and the type of MCAT scores that you need in order to get accepted into medical school, and you will see that the scores are high. And it seems like, who is getting these scores, but yet the acceptance rates are low? So that means barely anybody is meeting the requirements, and barely anybody's getting accepted. So if you want to get accepted, you have to be abnormal. You have to be better than average. You have to be really, really good at what you want to do. So I don't want to discourage you, but I just want to remind you that your grades are so important. You can't do anything without your grades. You can't get into these research programs that I was talking about. You can't do research outside of school. You can't do anything. Nobody's going to want somebody whose grades are bad, because nobody wants a doctor who got C's. Last tip is to make sure that medicine is 100% exactly what you want to do. And I say this because when I went on a mock medical school interview with Morehouse School of Medicine, my interviewer kept asking me, why medicine? Why medicine? Why medicine? Because you can want to help people and be a social worker. You can want to talk to people all day and be a lawyer. There are a lot of different factors that go into helping people, and so you just can't let that be the end-all be-all into why you want to be a doctor, especially why medicine is the best thing, the best career, the best path for you. So just think about that, because people are going to ask you that, and you have to be able to ask yourself. And then also just know that it's going to be hard work. Being in medical school, I imagine being in medical school is going to be hard work. I don't know, I'm not there yet. I hope I am one day. But I do know that being a pre-medicine major or be on the pre-medicine track is hard work. And so there's a lot of times you're going to be asking yourself, like, why do I want to do this again? Like, is this worth it? And it's going to be because there is no other way to get to medicine than through this path. So why do you want to do medicine? Because there are other ways. If you want to work with people or make a difference, you can do research, you can do public health. But medicine in particular is very, very difficult. So if you want to do it, you got to know why. Okay, now that I have talked my head off, I'm going to answer some of the questions that Nays Name 55 on Snapchat asked me. She's the one who inspired me to finally sit down and do this video. So I'm going to answer all the questions that she has, and then hopefully I answered everything that you guys want to know. If not, you can just comment it down below, and I will be on there answering all your questions. So her first question is, she wants to know about shadowing and clinical experiences. So for shadowing clinical experiences, again, that's all up to you and you doing your research. I know my school, they encourage it and they let you know that it should be done, but they don't go any further than that. So what I did is I did my research, and I found an obstetrician clinic that is in Atlanta, and they love SPELMAN students, and they're also Black owned, and they just love people like me because they're ran by people like me, and they want to see more people like me in the medical field. So I called up there, I met with them, I had an interview, and they asked for like my resume and like my research statement, and they just want to know like different things that I like to do and why I want to be an obstetrician, yada yada yada. And then I basically have to create my own schedule with them, and then I go in and I shadow. I will try and vlog next time that I go, because I'm supposed to be doing it more now that I'm on winter break. Hold me to that in the comments, because I know you guys want to see it. But yeah, again, it's just all about researching. So just going out there. If you have family members who are in the medical field, definitely reach out to them. That is one thing. Since this is like half my experience, half my advice, that's one thing about me, is that I have nobody in my family that is in medicine, like absolutely nobody. So it's very hard for me to get advice or to figure out what I should be doing, or if what I'm doing is right or wrong. So I just want to keep that in mind, that I learned a lot of this on my own. But I guess that kind of helps me let you guys know things that I didn't think was common knowledge, but apparently it was to everybody else. But I didn't think so, because I didn't know. So I'm trying to help you guys out. So if you didn't know, you should be shadowing. You should have a lot of different hours, and that's just so when you apply to medical school, they're just like, you do know what you're getting yourself into, right? Like, you know there's going to be people and bodies and blood. So that's basically all that shadowing is. And I want to know about my experience with application process into medical school. So I haven't started my application process yet. I will start it this summertime, as well as for MCAT. I haven't started studying MCAT yet. This upcoming spring semester, I will be starting my MCAT prep courses. I'll be doing it through, I believe, Princeton. There are several different ones. Just know that they're very expensive, so you want to save up for them. I always hear that they are necessary, just kind of like how SAT prep classes will really help you increase your score. There's so much that you learn through your pre-medicine courses throughout the year, so you want to make sure that you are gathering all the information, because your score, your MCAT score, is so important into getting into medical school. So I will be taking the MCAT prep courses in the springtime. Again, I'll vlog that, because I will be vlogging again in the spring semester, and I will let you guys know how that goes. I should be taking the MCAT in the summertime, and I should be applying in the summer and the fall. So I will keep you guys updated on my entire process, but that's my experience with it so far. I've just signed up for the classes. Okay, tips on how to get through science classes. So I would just say that as a pre-medicine student, your experience in college in general is going to be different than everybody else's. I feel like being a STEM major is very, very difficult, and they make it very difficult to have a life in anything but STEM. But that's just me. Enough is never enough. You have to do what's required of you times 10. So it's not enough just to go to classes. No homework, there's no classwork assignments. There's labs, and sometimes recitations, and presentations, and tests. Like, that's it. So it's like, if you don't do well in all of those things right now, like in high school, you probably don't want to major in something pre-medicine, because that's all that your grade will consist of. So it doesn't matter if you are reading the textbook or doing homework problems really well, because there will be none of that in college. It's simply just like, can you perform what I'm asking you to? It's more than just what you're doing in class, and then you're gonna be able to pass the exam. Like, you will feel like you're not even getting the information that you need in the class, because it's so much. Like, it's so much information that you're trying to learn. So I would just say, don't get discouraged, but just know that there's a lot of outside work. So you're gonna have to read all your textbooks. You're going to have to do a lot of practice problems outside of whatever you're assigned. You're going to have to, I hope I'm not scaring you guys. You're going to have to watch videos. You're going to have to go to office hours. You're going to have to get a tutor. You're going to have to go to recitations. You're going to have to work in groups. You're going to have to do a lot of projects. Yeah, you're going to have to know what you're talking about. It's very hard to finesse. And so with all that being said, how do I balance being a pre-medicine major and doing all the different things that I do? I am not the best person to talk about this. I don't believe that I balance it very well at all. But one tip that I will have is that I go into every semester focused, because it's very, very hard to catch up, but it's really, really easy when you're motivated in the beginning of the school semester to get all your stuff done. And then maybe at the end, you want to be like, I worked so hard in the beginning of the semester, like, I'm just not going to do this one assignment, then it's okay. It's never okay, but it's like, you know, it's better than having to try and like do the last couple assignments and being like, well, if I get 125% on the final, I may be able to get a C- in the course. Like, you know, just start off strong and get help. Get help outside, because your teacher can only do so much, and work with other people, because it's like, there are people who are passing, get with those people, because if you do what they're doing, you should be able to pass just like they're passing. And don't be too hard on yourself, because I personally think that it's almost impossible to be a 4.0 student as a biology major. Don't get me wrong, there are people who do it, but I just haven't found myself to be one of those people. But I think I do pretty well for myself, and I'm proud of myself so far. So yeah, that's all I got to share with you guys. I think that's about it. If you guys have any more questions, if I didn't answer anything, you can leave it down below, and like I said, I will answer it for you guys. If you want a part 2 with particular questions, if I see like a ton of them, just leave your questions down below and I will do that. And if you want more videos like this, please give this a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
6th day of Christmas, my baby gave to me a crop jacket with dirty denim jeans. On the 5th day of Christmas, my baby gave to me the one that he wrote for me.